Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foul Ball Food and Drink here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. So today we got a special video, a special Oktoberfest themed video. I've got two beers here from St. Elmo Brewing, a very well-renowned brewery out of South Austin. They're in a neighborhood, a little area, industrial area called The Yard. There's a whiskey distillery there. There's a seltzery, a winery, a few different cocktail places. It's a very, very cool little area in South Austin. And St. Elmo is famous for their Kolsch-style beer called Carl, which you can get all over town. Hi, Luke. Wouldn't be a Foul Ball Food and Drink video if Luke did not insert himself. Hi, pal. Listen, you're the best. It's just that buzz and beer aren't really a great combo. So why don't you just go off the table? Off the table, mate. Great, thank you. So, yes, they're famous for their Kolsch-style beer named Carl. You can get that in many beer bars and beer houses all over Austin, Texas. Kolsch is a really nice style of beer, refreshing and light. I dig it. But that's not the beer we're here to talk about today. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. We are here to talk about their Schlagen Oktoberfest. I looked it up, and Schlagen means hit. I don't know why they chose to name it that, but that's what Schlagen means. So we got their Schlagen Oktoberfest and this Czech-style Pilsner, Merle. Very terrific names. Very fun over at St. Elmo, the names that they get. So this is a Czech-style Pilsner. And what's interesting about both these beers is their use of oak. They both are made with some kind of oak, but in different ways. So the Schlagen Oktoberfest is aged on oak barrels after it's been brewed to give it a different kind of flavor. And the Czech Pilsner is actually fermented with oak in the wort, I believe that's called. I'm sure the beer nerds are like, no, it's not. It's called this. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. The big brew where all the grains and the water and the sugars. But they put a little bit of oak in there, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's a pretty interesting thing. As far as I know, I've never had a beer that's made with oak in the brewing process. So I think that's kind of fun. So I'm going to try both of these and then give you my thoughts. All right, we're going to start with the Schlagen, with the hit Oktoberfest. Once again, it's a lager. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what the term lager means, it's a brewing process term, more specifically a fermentation process term. So there's two different kinds of beers. There's ales and lagers. And then everything else shoots down off of those. The significant difference between the two of them is that ales are fermented at room temperature, where lagers are fermented in a refrigerated situation. It used to be caves, now it's refrigerated tanks, but they use a different kind of yeast. So it's a longer, slower fermentation that gets more nuance, more complexity in the beer, some say, but they tend to be crisper. I like lagers. I think they're delicious. And this is our Czech-style Pilsner. So Czech-style Pilsners, especially the Oktoberfest, well, this Oktoberfest version is definitely darker. I think it may be a darker malt. Oktoberfest typically, I believe, use Marzen, which my beer knowledge is strained at the moment. But I do think that that's a darker malt to begin with, if I'm not mistaken. However, this is also aged in oak barrels. So I wonder how much color is coming from the malt itself and how much color is just coming from the barrel aging. Surely, I don't know. But this is 6%, 6.5% ABV, which is high for a Czech Pilsner. Usually 5 or less for that style of beer. So this is pretty interesting. Let's give it a shot. Rich nose, you definitely get that oak, the buttery, the kind of softer characteristics that come from being barrel aged are immediately present. It's rich, kind of get some of those botanicals from the hops right there. You definitely do. The barrel is really a dominant note. You kind of get that sweet warmth of an Oktoberfest as well, which I think is pretty cool. That's awesome. That's great. Ooh, what a fun beer. There's such a wealth of expression on the palate. Like it's so rich as it hits your palate in a really refreshing way. That is awesome. What a great, wow, that is really good. That goes down so smooth. I think it has a lot to do with that barrel softening it out on the edges, you know, making it just a really, like, not what's the word, but just softer, just more kind on your palate. Instead of having kind of any harsh notes, it's sort of been weeded out by the barrel. And it doesn't add too much like tannin to it. It's not too rich. It's not an overly bitter thing that sometimes hanging out in oak can bring. It doesn't have that at all. It's really, for the size of this beer, it's pretty crushable. And crushable is that beer term where you can just keep throwing them back. This is, for 6.5% Pilsner on oak, this is really crushable. That is nice. That is nice. That is a really just soft, delicious Oktoberfest. That barrel aging, I think, is really going to have this one stand out. There's a lot of Oktoberfest competitions. Lots of breweries will release their version of Oktoberfest, and it's so many, it's overwhelming. And then they really do start to run together in flavor profile because there's not that many variations on it. There's not too many, too much wild chemistry going on there. But this is a real standout because of that oak aging. That's distinct. I like that a lot. Absolutely. Hanging out, drinking that in a Biergarten, eating brats and farting and drinking Oktoberfest. That would be a day. That would be a fun day. I could absolutely see just hanging out with the Schlagen. Oh, that is absolutely a Schlagen in my book. Way to go, St. Elmo. Off to a good start. Now, let's try the Merle. The Merle really has got me curious because made with oak. That's what the head brewer told me, which surprised me. I just saw oak and assumed it says lagered with oak. I just assumed that meant it was aged on oak. He's like, no, we put it in the mash or whatever you call that in beer, the wort, whatever, the brew, the mix. And it's made with oak. So I'm like, what? Okay, cool. I'm really curious about that. Also, Czech style Pilsner. Lower, 5.5 ABV. Doesn't have quite the same boost as this one, as this Oktoberfest. Did I call this one a Czech style Pilsner? I hope I didn't, because I didn't mean to. It's not. It's Oktoberfest. Czechoslovakia is not Germany. You can already see the lighter color, right? It doesn't have that barrel aging to take in that richness, right? It's more yellow here instead of that richer brown. It's a little more opaque. Not fully, but you can definitely see through it a little bit more. Looks more what you'd expect from like a lager or a Pilsner in just visuals. Huh. On the noses, I kind of expected to get more of that oak, almost like a vanilla characteristic because it was made with it. I figured it would be like deep and rich in the brew, but no, it just kind of smells like a Pilsner to me. Yeah, that's just kind of typical. That's sort of like grassy, bright characteristic you'd get from, a Pilsner Urquell or something like that. One of those classic Czech pills. Yeah. I expected that to be different. Wow. That's different. That's almost buttery. Because of the oak in there, you kind of expect it to have that sharp Czech Pils style. It just sort of like smacks your palate, but it doesn't. It sort of hangs out in the middle. It's sort of, there's a wash. That is different. Ooh, I like that because it's a contrast. Like the nose, you expected to just have a crisp Pilsner slap, but then when you drink it, it's more buttery, it's more rich. That's pretty interesting. Much broader palate expression. There's a richness there. It's quite pleasant. It's very different If I blind taste tested this and you told me that was a lager, I wouldn't have thought that. That definitely has the boldness and the size of an ale to me. Like the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale kind of thing. That's really more the body and the mouth expression that I get on that beer. I would not have thought that was a Czech style pils at all. I'd be like, really? What are you talking about? Oh, well, we put oak in the brew. Oh, well, that does change some things. That is different. That is a really different, cool take on the Czech style pils varietal style. I didn't want to say style twice. I don't know. That kind of beer. Merle, the Czech Pilsner lagered with oak, brewed at St. Elmo in South Austin. That is pretty rad, man. That is pretty rad. That is interesting. I appreciate that. I really do. I like the richness that comes from that. It's a playing a little jazz with the Pilsner style. You know, a lot of these beer styles are kind of, they've been passed down. They're very sacred, especially in German brewing culture. They're very respected. They need to be like this. They need to be up to these standards. And for them to just kind of go a little wild with it, throw oak into the brew, and really just change the entire dynamic of the Czech Pilsner style. Well, that's really cool. That's a fun little development in the world of beer. St. Elmo Brewing, man. Check them out if you're ever in Austin. And that whole little area, the yard, there's the distillery right there. That place Still Austin. They do spectacular whiskey. And then there's like this natural winery down over there. Very, very cool part of Austin. Kind of tucked away, not like on 6th Street or in like the South Congress areas you'd normally think to go when visiting Austin. St. Elmo Brewing, rad. I'm going to go quickly find what they put on their website, how they describe their beers. Okay, according to the St. Elmo Brewing website, the Merle Czech Pilsner is described as such. Czech Pilsner lagered with oak. The Oakie from Muskogee is back. This lager is our tip of the hat to Old World Pilsner. After being gently hopped with at Pro hops, Mittelfrüh and Sapphire, this beer was fermented and extensively lagered on lightly toasted American oak spirals to resemble the cask lagers of yore. Distinguished, thought-provoking, and yes, insanely crushable. That is pretty cool. That is interesting. And let me see if they talk about the, what is this one? The Schlagen. I love saying that. Schlagen. It's fun. Well, they don't have any Schlagen here. No Schlagen? Why no Schlagen? Mut about den Schlagen. Hi, Luke. Luke, you're back. Hi, buddy. Thanks for revisiting with your presence, with your fuzziness. But you are kind of mucking up the works here, Chief. So if you wouldn't mind beating it. Okay. St. Elmo Brewing, Oktoberfest time. Schlagen, Oktoberfest aged on oak. Dust off your dirndls. There must be some reference I'm missing there. And Lederhosen, and join us for a Stammtisch, and I don't speak German, for our annual Oktoberfest. Party starts at noon. I guess that's just what the party doesn't really describe. I guess it's just their Oktoberfest offering that they put on oak. Well, okay. No new information from St. Elmo. Either way, very cool brewery. You should check them out if you're ever in town. And I believe that they have wider distribution. I don't know how wide. It's not a huge brewery, but it is a very, very cool place. So I recommend you checking it out. Thank you so much for watching this video on St. Elmo's Oktoberfest and October offerings. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned a lot, and maybe you will visit when you come to town, because they are very cool people and a very good brewery. I really appreciate you watching. Please press like, subscribe for more content. There's a bunch of stuff up there. If you wanted to hear, I put 5 hard watermelon seltzers to the test to come up with the one that I thought would be the best, and the result may shock you. I don't know if it'll shock you, but it was pretty fun. It was a fun little video I put up there. There's a video on how to make sourdough bread, because I used to be a baker for about 2 years, and in addition to still being a home baker, and a tour of Jester King Brewery if you like more beer stuff. Lots of other things. Hopefully some new videos coming out in the future soon. Got the lovely Daniela LaFlave always yapping up my ear for new ideas and new videos. So keep an eye out for new stuff, more videos. Thank you so very much for watching. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.